Hello folks, this is Douglas Pinkham with Pinkham and Associates. We are a dedicated family law firm. We practice nothing but family law and divorce and family law. So we are going to discuss the proof of service by mail. This form is the family law proof of service if you're mailing something, serving by mail. You can't serve everything by mail, but those things that you can serve by mail, you can use this form. For example, if you're filing a response, you can serve it by mail and use this form. If you are serving a request for order, you're going to change child support or spousal support, custody visitation orders, things like that, ask for attorney's fees, you can use this form. Okay, if you are trying to show proof of service of a summons, you need a different proof of service. That's a proof of service of summons. It has its own special proof of service. All right, folks, for the rest of those, you can use this form. Now, one other fundamental thing that you need to understand. If you are the petitioner or the respondent, if you're a party to this action, you cannot serve the other party with anything. You personally cannot do it. So the person that's going to sign this and date it and say that they served has got to be somebody else, and some other adult, not a party to the action. So your cousin, your sister, your neighbor, your boss, your girlfriend, anyone other than you has to actually put this thing in the mail, whatever's being served in the mail, and then they have to fill this out and sign it. All right, so let's get started with that in mind. I hope you have an FL 335 in front of you. If you don't, feel free to pause this video and go print one out. I want you to have a 335 in front of you while we go through this form. All right, folks, let's start out top. Just like every form, you're going to put your name, address, telephone number. You don't have to, but you can put a fax number if you want. Same thing with the email. It's not mandatory. Then you put your name next to attorney for. You're just doing your own paperwork, so you can put that in there. Superior Court of California, County of. So you're going to list the county in which you're filing all your paperwork in right there. Then the next line is the address for the court. If you don't know the address for the court where you're going to file it, just Google it. It's real easy to find the address for the court where you're going to file your paperwork. So that's the street address for the court. If it has a separate mailing address, you're going to put that there. That's usually a post office box. If you don't know that, just skip it and go to the city and state and zip code of the court. They don't need the state. We know that this is California, so it's going to be in California. And the branch name. You're also going to look that up. Every court has a branch name. Just use the regular name of the court there, the actual courthouse. For example, in Los Angeles, they have a central court. They've got an east court. The Long Beach court is called the Duke-Majan court. There's a bunch of different court names. Use the specific name of the court where you're filing the paperwork in that line. All right, the next lines are the petitioner and respondent. Those names never change. If you're the petitioner, write your name in the petitioner's line. If you're the respondent, list your name as the respondent and the other party as the petitioner. Then we got the case name, or excuse me, case number. And if you know the case number, then you're going to put that in there. If you don't know the case number yet, for whatever reason, you haven't gotten to that point and you're filing something in the beginning of your case, no problem. But you probably, by the time you're filling this out and using this form, you probably know the case number already. All right, next line is a hearing date, hearing time, and the department. That's the specific courtroom. Now, if you're filing paperwork, if you're filing this proof of service to show that you served paperwork on a request to change child support or spousal support or custody and visitation orders, those kinds of things, then you will have already filed your RFO, your request for order, and you will have already gotten that back from the court with a court date on it. That's the information you put in here. But let's say, for example, you're using this form to show proof of service of a response at the beginning of a case. You won't have a court date, so there won't be any hearing date, any time, or department. So you leave them blank. Okay, folks, we're going to move down to, let's look at number 1 here. it says, I am at least 18 years of age, not a party to this action, and I am a resident or employed in the county where the mailing took place. So the person that's serving this, again, cannot be you, the person that is a party to the action. It's got to be your cousin, your sister, your neighbor, a workmate, anyone other than you that lives and works in the county. All right. Number 2, the person that is serving this is going to list their residence or business address in that space. Okay. Number 3, I served a copy of the following documents. In that list, in that area, you're going to want to list every single document that you're serving. This is a service by mail. So let's say it's a large envelope and you're putting a bunch of different documents in it to serve them. Name every single document. Every single one. Don't miss a document. They all need to be listed. Okay, then we get into how it's served and that kind of thing. 3A says that you were depositing the sealed envelope with the documents in it with the United States Postal Service with the postage fully prepaid. So if you just dropped it into a mailbox somewhere or at the actual post office, you're going to mark A. If you, for example, are placing it in an outbox at your work or at your employment where there's a standard outbox for mail and somebody else takes it all and takes it and mails it off, you're going to mark B. Okay? All right. Let's go. Then, number 4. This is the name and address of the person that's being served. So if you're serving your spouse or whoever the other party is, you're going to put their name next to the line next to A, the name of the person being served. B is their address. This is the address that you're mailing your documents to. Now, if there's an apartment number or a suite number or anything like that, you definitely want to include it. You have to include that. Make sure the address is exact and correct, or the other side is going to claim they did not get proper notice, proper service. All right, so make sure that is done correctly. C, this is the date that the item was placed in the mail. D is the city and state where it was mailed. So if you mailed it in Sacramento, California, write Sacramento, California. If you mailed it from Huntington Beach, California, mark Huntington Beach, California there. The next one is 5 is about a very specific issue. You're only going to mark 5 if you've already been through an entire family law case. Say a divorce or a paternity action or something where you have final judgment already in your hand. And what we're filing and what you're serving on the other side is a post-judgment request to change something. So let's say you've already been through your entire divorce and then later you go back to change custody visitation or child support or spousal support. You're going to mark 5 and you're going to need another form, an FL 334, that testifies basically, that says I promise that I have verified the address that I'm sending this to actually belongs to the recipient, the person we're trying to serve. All right? So that's what that is. It's an address verification form for post-judgment modifications. All right, then number 6 is also very important. Understand that whoever is serving this paperwork, remember, can't be you, can't be a party to the action. It's got to be a neighbor, a friend, a girlfriend, cousin, any adult who lives in the county other than you. They are going to date it, write their name underneath the date, and they're going to sign to the right. And then this document is going to be filed with your court. That's the proof of service by mail. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you very much for watching my video.